In our last video, we learned about monarch butterflies and their migration habits. So in this video, we're looking at item number 3, memory piece number 3, and we're still talking about the monarch butterflies. So you need these two pieces. You have a pentagon-shaped organizer, 5 sides, and then a passage. Scientists keep track of the monarchs during the trip south. They note when the monarchs begin to fly south. They record where adult monarchs are spotted as they travel to Mexico. Scientists collect some of this data themselves, but they depend on others to help. People help by reporting sightings of monarchs. So this passage is a little bit longer. It's a little bit more difficult. The main idea is not quite as clear in this one. But let's start breaking it down and let's see what we have. So the topic, we're still talking about the monarchs, but is that really the main focus of this passage? Is it the monarchs we're focused on or something else? It's the scientists that we are interested in. We're talking about scientists. We're also talking about the trip south. We're not interested in that return trip this time. We're talking about the monarch's trip to the south. So if I want to do a main idea, I'm going to leave this main idea to the end. Okay? So let's break down this passage. We need to get 5 details out of here. So I'm going to say to start with that scientists note or pay attention to when the monarchs begin to fly south. So I'm going to say that scientists start tracking when the monarchs fly, let's not say fly, let's say when they start to fly south. So this time I'm not as focused on the butterflies as I am the scientists. That's where the emphasis in this passage is. And here's a way that you can tell that. Look at this word, they. They record where adult monarchs are spotted as they travel to Mexico. Who is the they this time? In the last passage, it was monarchs. But in this passage, it's the scientists. And you can even put that in there if you need to. Scientists record where adult monarchs are spotted as they travel to Mexico. So they're interested in where those adult monarchs are spotted. Now, I already know they're going to Mexico because they're flying south. So I don't need to write that again. I already know that fact. But I am going to say, and I'm just going to use the letter S so I don't have to keep writing scientist. Scientists record where the adult monarchs are seen. And you could use the letter M if you wanted to instead of writing out monarchs. This is a good way to practice your spelling. Okay, scientists start tracking when they start to fly south, and they record where the adult monarchs are seen. Okay, so then we're to the next sentence. There's the word scientist again. So they collect some data themselves. So again, I'm just going to use the letter S. So scientists collect data. Are they the only ones who collect data? No, they're not. The scientists, and here's again the word they. Scientists depend, that they means scientists, not butterflies. Scientists depend on others to help. So I'm going to just use that little snippet, that little fact. So it's not just the scientist, it's other people too. And you might say, help what? What are they helping to do? They are helping to collect data. I want you to write whatever you need to in these little slots to help you understand what you're reading. That's the purpose of these organizers, these graphic things. It's to help you really comprehend what you're reading. And so what's the last thing? We know that they collect data, they help with the data, but they also are reporting sightings of the monarchs, just like the scientists are doing. So these ordinary citizens are reporting where these butterflies are seen. So let me just focus right here a second and we'll come up with our main idea. We know that we're talking about scientists in this passage, not the butterflies, but we are focusing on the trip south. So here's what I came up with. Scientists start tracking when the monarchs start to fly south. And then I went to this one. Scientists record where the adult monarchs are seen. Scientists collect data. Others help to collect data. The others report sightings. So this is what the scientists are doing also. So here's my main idea. This is a summary. This is where I take everything I've learned and put it in my own words. Scientists, and I'm going to go ahead and write it incorrectly. Just bear with me here. You can do this too. Scientists track the monarchs on their trip south. For some reason, they don't follow them when they come home. Or if they do, we're not told about that. We're just told that they track them on the way south. So is this a good main idea? Scientists track the monarchs on their trip south. Is that an acceptable main idea? Well, it takes care of that one, that detail. It takes care of that detail. And it takes care of that detail. But what about these other two details? This is not an appropriate main idea. It's a good start. But what have I left out? I've told you that scientists track the monarchs on their trip south, but it's not just the scientists. So rather than erase this and start over, I'm just going to use a caret sign to put in right there. Scientists and others track the monarchs on their trip south. Now I have not only talked about those details, I have talked about these as well. So your main idea sentence needs to cover everything in these petals of this flower. Every detail that's mentioned here needs to be part of that main idea. So let's go back to our other example. I should have done this with you on that one, but let's look back here. Let's make sure that our main idea covers everything in the petals. And our main idea was monarch butterflies make a two-way migration. Okay, when it turns cold, they fly south. That detail is mentioned. Okay. Well, the migration's mentioned, and that's from U.S. and Canada to Mexico, so that one's covered. The migration is up to 3,000 miles. And the flying back in the spring is part of the two-way migration. So yes, our main idea covers every one of those petals. Every one of those details is included in that main idea. That's very important. When you write your own main ideas, you have to make sure that you're including everything and not just part of the details. So let me make this a little bit bigger. This is a pretty good main idea sentence for this one. When you write your own paragraphs in your own essays, you want to be sure that your main idea sentences cover everything. That's so very important. Okay, we will be practicing this skill in the workbook in the next video. So I will see you for that very soon, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.